Hey guys, Courier6 here with the Kaladesh Express, and today I'm going to be making a primer for you on Fallout for Magic the Gathering fans. If you already played Fallout before, you're going to know all this, but it'll still be fun, so definitely hang around. But if you haven't, this is the video for you. I'm going to be going over the lore, the references, the terms you might not be familiar with, and we're just going to have a great time exploring the world of Fallout and preparing you for Universes Beyond Fallout. Before I get started, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and liking and subscribing. It would mean a lot to me. Also, I just hit 500. I know I just did a 500 subscriber video, but I just want to say thank you again to all of you. It means the most to me. Anyway, let's jump into it. Whoa there, you little wastelander. I just realized while editing this, I should probably put a content warning and a spoiler warning for the entirety of Fallout. I'm not going to be showing too much of anything that's on this content warning, but go ahead and look at the screen real quick if you're sensitive to such things. Maybe don't check out this video. I will be keeping it relatively family friendly though, so moving on. Alright, so before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and give you just a overview of what Fallout is in the most general sense.
Briefly, a few facts about Fallout.
Fallout is an alternative history sci-fi series set roughly 200 years in the future after nuclear weapons decimated the world in an event known as the Great War, with technological advancements diverging in the 1950s and causing the world's technology to focus on nuclear energy above anything else. This in turn led to a world, appearance and design-wise anyways, to be stuck in the age of the nuclear family, even 200 years after the bombs dropped. It's also a series that explores the gray areas of human nature, scientific study, and political ideology through its world design, characters, and stories. All of this is explored through the lens of grim realities of how the world would be after nuclear fallout. Incredibly well written, with story beats of extreme darkness balanced out by moments of irreverent humor and beautiful and heartbreaking personal stories, Fallout is one of my favorite video game franchises of all time, and the fourth mainline game, Fallout New Vegas, is my favorite video game of all time. Now, the Fallout franchise is set in a vast and intricate post-apocalyptic world, not unlike the Magic multiverse, so let's kick things off by delving into some of the more general terms and enemy types you can anticipate hearing about in this Magic the Gathering set you might not be familiar with. The first thing we're going to tackle is Vault Tech. In the Fallout games, vaults are underground, self-contained shelters. The vaults were constructed by the Vault-Tec Corporation, and they stated that these vaults were to
wait out the horrors of nuclear devastation.
But their actual purpose was to conduct various social experiments on the inhabitants. Each vault was equipped with essential resources to sustain its population, and a few vaults functioned exactly as advertised, but most didn't. Vault-Tec, along with Robco Industries, produce a lot of the advanced technologies you'll find throughout the series, including Vats.
Sign up now and prepare for the future.
Vats, or the Vault-Tec Assisted Targeting System, is a gameplay mechanic in the Fallout series. Vats allows players to pause the real-time combat and target specific parts of the bodies of enemies, each with its own percentage chance to hit. The percentage is influenced by factors such as the player's skills, distance to target, and the weapon used. After selecting the body part to attack, the game goes back to being a shooter in real time and the player executes the chosen moves. Vats is literally aim assist in an otherwise first-person shooter, and no other series really does this. Vats has become a signature feature in the Fallout series. Its inclusion adds strategic and cinematic elements to the combat. It wasn't uncommon to see YouTube compilations of particularly explosive kills using Vats when Fallout 3 released. Seen on the cover of most Fallout games, Power Armor is technologically advanced, heavily armored exoskeleton that provides enhanced protection and strength to the wearer, similar to early Iron Man armor in the MCU. Most famously used by the Brotherhood of Steel and Enclave factions, Power Armor is a defining feature of the Fallout universe and has different iterations and models across various games. Wearing Power Armor also grants the user increased protection against various types of damage, including, but not limited to, ballistic, energy, and radiation damage, aka RADs. It is the most advanced form of protection available in the franchise. The wearer also gains increased strength, allowing them to carry heavy loads and wield heavier weapons, making you the ultimate treasure goblin. Radiation levels in Fallout are measured in units called RADs. In the game, characters can accumulate RADs by being in close proximity to radioactive materials, drinking contaminated water, or other radiation sources. The more RADs a character accumulates, the higher risk of negative effects, such as radiation sickness or radiation poisoning. I guess you could say it's not very rad to get RADs.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
FEV stands for Forced Evolutionary Virus and was developed before the Great War as a government experiment to create a new breed of super soldiers. However, the virus did not function as intended and instead led to devastating mutation in those exposed to it. Throughout the series, various factions and characters have sought to control or harness the power of FEV, leading to complex and morally ambiguous storylines in the games. The presence of FEV and its consequences contribute to the dark and dystopian atmosphere of the Fallout universe. FEV is directly responsible for the creation of some of the Wasteland's most horrifying creatures, such as super mutants and centaurs. In the Fallout series, bobbleheads are collectible items that provide a permanent stat bonus to the player character when collected. They will upgrade the special stats of your character to enhance your gameplay. The name Special is an acronym standing for Strength, Perception, Endurance, Charisma, Intelligence, Agility, and Luck, and the number assigned to these stats affects many of the interactions throughout your gameplay. Ghouls are humans who have been exposed to high levels of radiation, typically over an extended period. This exposure causes several mutations in the bodies, leading to changes in appearance and in some cases, alterations to their mental state. Ghouls have a distinct and often zombie-like appearance. Their skin is usually discolored, wrinkled, and may appear to be decaying. Their eyes are frequently glazed and have a distinctive glowing quality. Ghouls often face discrimination and prejudice from other wasteland inhabitants due to their physical changes and sometimes treated as outcasts.
Freak. Clever. You come up with that on your own.
Besides just physical deformities, the other reasons humans typically look down on ghouls and are fearful of them is that further exposure to radiation can cause some ghouls to lose their sanity, turning them into feral ghouls. Feral ghouls are aggressive and attack any non-ghoul creatures on sight, which puts doubt in the mind of some humans if any ghouls can be trusted. Super mutants are another iconic type of mutant in the Fallout series. Created through exposure to the Forced Evolutionary Virus, or FEV, they are stronger, larger, and more resilient than regular humans. Super mutants were originally humans who were exposed to the Forced Evolutionary Virus, often through experiments conducted by groups seeking their power, like the Master's Army. The FEV exposure resulted in significant physical advantages, making the super mutants much larger and stronger than regular humans, towering over most of the other wasteland inhabitants. Super mutants also typically have green skin, are bald, and unable to sexually reproduce. While super mutants are physically powerful, their exposure to FEV often leads to a decrease in intellectual capacity, and they are aggressive and hostile toward non-mutants.
I have a joke for you. Ready? Knock, knock. Who there? Humans. Humans who? Kill the humans! Kill them all!
Depending on the region in which the game takes place, mutants will look a little different, but they'll all basically share the same traits.
Welcome to Jacobstown, human.
There are some super mutants that seem to retain all their intelligence regardless of the effects of FEV, and some that are even friendly with humans. Before we move on, if you liked the video so far, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps grow the channel, and I really couldn't do this without you guys. I'm going to be covering all the Fallout content, like I said, it comes out, I'm going to be doing all sorts of things with it, so if this interests you, go ahead and hit that button, and let's get back to the video. Deathclaws. These creatures were once just chameleons, but they were exposed to the same forced evolutionary virus that affects super mutants. They have a pack mentality not unlike wolves, and I would argue these guys are the third most recognizable characters in the series right behind super mutants. They are extremely dangerous, fast, and have tough hides and sharp claws. Most players and other characters in the game stay far from them. Even at the end of the game, most players don't want to mess with them. They are the apex predator of the Fallout franchise. Dogs are good boys who do nothing wrong in the Fallout franchise and deserve all of the treats. There are several types of dogs in the games. Feral dogs, cybernetic dogs, wolves, dogs that are guns, just regular dogs. Some dogs you'll be able to bring with you on your adventure, and some you'll have to admire from afar. Alright, so you've got an idea of how the world of Fallout works and some of its inhabitants. Now we'll be looking at some of the factions in Fallout, and we're really going to be looking at mostly the most likely ones to be referenced in Magic the Gathering Universes Beyond. The factions we're going to be covering here are the most famous and important ones in my approximation. That'll be the Brotherhood of Steel, the Enclave, the Master's Army, the New California Republic, Caesar's Legion, the Minutemen, and the Institute. The Brotherhood of Steel is a technologically advanced and secretive organization that emerged from the remnants of the United States military. They are dedicated to preserving and controlling the advanced technology and preventing it from falling in the wrong hands. They often isolate themselves from other wasteland inhabitants, but occasionally like to integrate within the local community. They're a fan favorite faction, and this is where Dr. Madison Lee comes from.
Enclave here. Why isn't your video feed working?
The Enclave is a secretly and technologically advanced faction composed of remnants from the pre-war United States government and military.
Are you having a laugh?
What?
He does exactly what I do.
They believe themselves to be the last bastion of pure humanity and seek to reclaim and rebuild the United States in its original image. The Enclave often pursues its goals with ruthless methods, including elimination of all mutated life forms, including most wasteland inhabitants, whether they are hostile to the Enclave or not. They are usually equipped with advanced technology and power armor.
This will be the age of mutants.
The Master's Army is a faction led by a psychic mutant known as the Master, who was once a human. The Master uses forced evolutionary virus to transform humans into super mutants. The goal of the Master's Army is to create a unified and superhuman race. He does this by kidnapping wastelanders and exposing them to the FEV to bolster his numbers and, take over the world. Other villain stuff, right?
Since you haven't pissed yourself, I'll assume that you don't know who we are. Next time I'll bring my sickle and wear my black cloak.
The New California Republic is a democratic republic formed from the aftermath of the Great War. It aims to restore order, rebuild society, and expand its influence across the wasteland. The NCR is categorized by its adherence to democratic principles and its attempt to bring law and order to regions. However, its bureaucratic inefficiencies and corruption are prevalent, leading to internal challenges and taking forever to get anything done. The current US government just looks at the NCR and goes like, it's literally me.
So, I finally get to meet the courier who's caused so much trouble for the New California Republic.
Caesar's Legion is a highly organized, autocratic, and brutal faction. Caesar's philosophy is inspired by ancient Rome, and he believes in absolute control, strict discipline, and the subjugation of conquered tribes. Caesar's Legion aims to conquer and assimilate territories into its empire, either through assimilation, slavery, or extermination.
Get out of my sight.
The Minutemen are a volunteer militia formed by the Commonwealth residents after the Great War. The Minutemen are dedicated to the protection and aid of settlements and people throughout the Commonwealth. The main goal of the Minutemen is to establish a network of well-defended settlements and ensure the safety and prosperity for the people of the Commonwealth. They're where that really annoying Preston Garvey meme comes from, if you didn't know. You know the one. The Institute is a highly advanced and secretive organization based in the Commonwealth. The Institute is known for its advanced technologies, scientific research, and development of the synthetic beings called synths. The Institute is shrouded in mystery and operates from the shadows. The organization is also responsible for creating teleportation devices that they use for nefarious purposes. Like I said up top, there are more factions we could go over, but these are the most important and prominent ones. So that should be enough information to get you into the world of Fallout and have a general understanding of the cards that will be revealed soon. Once all cards are revealed, I'm going to go through every legendary creature and take account of them and make a video explaining each one of them, who they are, and in much greater detail than any of the characters I explained here. It's going to be a very long video, so expect that when the set releases. I'll also be building a few commander decks based on some of the legendaries. I'll also be doing a collector booster box opening brought to you by Mega Cards and Games here in Georgia, so if you're ever in Georgia, check out Mega Cards and Games. They are fantastic, not a sponsor, just great store where I get some cards. And honestly, I'm going to be in the Fallout world for a while once the set releases, so a lot of videos on the channel are going to be about that, so I'm sorry ahead of time, but this is me living right here. I love Fallout so much, so I hope you're excited for that. Otherwise, I'm Courier6 of the Kaladesh Express. I hope you learned something. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you soon. Have a great day.